Hey everybody, it's your girl Teri. You see where I'm at in the dungeon, so you know what that means. Another ghost time, story time with your girl Teri. This story is going to go back to when I was on Orange Street. And so much stuff has happened on Orange Street. If you guys want to go back to my old videos, where you will see that Orange Street had a lot going on. Not only that all my family homes always had something going on, but Orange Street was like the place that a lot of things have taken place. And this one story is from Orange Street. So while on Orange Street, there was this one time in particular where I was laying in bed. And I know I've told you other things about me laying in bed and the things that would happen. But this one is something that is reoccurring. It happened more than just Orange Street. It's happening here in my house now. So get ready. One night I was laying in bed and just, listening to some music in my earphones. At the time it was we had like the portable disc players that didn't jump. Like the ones that were like, yeah, these are the ones that are shit because you could like move them and they wouldn't skip. So I had one of those and I'm laying in bed and I'm listening to music. And the next thing I know is I feel like this cold feeling on my foot. And I'm like, all right, maybe I might have moved the blankets. So I fixed the blankets. And the next thing I know is that it felt like a tickle, but it was my blankets sliding off of my legs, just coming right off of my legs, to where I literally felt it, and I got up and I looked, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is them like? And then I thought, the cats, always me with the cats, thinking it's the cats, but I looked down and no cats. No, no, nothing. Not my brother. Not nobody messing with me. Nothing. Dave was full asleep in bed. He was out like a light. And I was still awake. So I fixed the blankets again and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Well, by the time it did it again, I got up slowly because I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to catch whatever this is, and I'm probably not going to like the way it looks. And when I looked down, I didn't see nothing. All I felt was cold air. And then the blankets this time went slow and then right off my feet. So, needless to say that many of the nights that I slept there and stayed in that house, and yet to this day, because it's still happening, is that I cover my feet, or I just wear socks to bed now. Like, I don't go to bed without socks. And I used to really like that, but now it's like a thing that I can't do because when I feel that cold air, I know what's going to about to go down. And for the most part, it is me going to see something I don't like, or in this case, nothing at all, and it was just messing with me. So that was my one little ghost story. So now I have a little ghost update. On this ghost update, I just want to let you know that in the house that I'm living in now, I remember I told you that I seen that shadow. Well, now my door, as I was walking into the kitchen, shut right in my face. Now there's no wind, there's no windows open, there's no nothing. Just complete, boop, you're not allowed in here kind of feeling. So needless to say, I opened the door and went in anyways. And it was like 20 degrees colder in the kitchen than it was outside. Because I went out the back door to check, because that's something that I'm doing now, is like checking the air temperature when this stuff happens. And I realized that it gets very, very cold in that room. It could be summertime and it's still, when things like that happen, it happens. It literally, you can pretty much blow smoke out your mouth. So which leads me to, I'm going to be buying a house. And with my house search, I'm really scared because I don't really want to buy a house that could be potentially haunted again, because I lived through that, and there's just no way I'm going to do that again. Although I am haunted throughout my whole life, I've been seeing things. I'll give you another little story, because I know the stories are really short, and I'm just touching bases on certain things. But my mom and her friends, and this was in my grandmom's house before they built the highway over the houses. They went and had a sleepover party, and I went and asked all of them, because you know me, I'm going to go do my detective work before I give out any information. And the story that my mom told me, I was just like, all that? Really? And here we go. So my mom said she was in the room with her two friends, one being my Aunt Mare, who wasn't really my aunt, but I call her Aunt Mare, and Jeannie, my mom's friend, who they're still all friends yet to this day. And my mom and Jeannie and Mary are all afraid of how the room was set up. There's a window, and then there's a door, because this is the third floor now, a door that leads to the attic. Well, they hear noises in the attic, and they're like, oh, it's Sonny. Who is my uncle? Uncle Sonny messing with everybody. That's friggin' tie him in there. So what the girls did was, my mom and her friends, is they took the rope and tied it up real tight. And they were like, we're just going to lock them in there and keep them scared. Well, they heard this noise, and they had a flashlight, and they shone the light on it. And what they described to me, and every one of them had the same story, is that the ropes started to untie on their own. Now, I wouldn't dismiss that, because I've seen things like that in life, but literally what they explained next, I don't know if I've ever experienced that. I don't think I have. And if I did, I probably blocked it out some way. Is that when the door opened, all they could smell was the smell of, like, my mom put it as rotten eggs, and they heard this guttural growl, like, you know, a growl. And my mom said that she wanted to go first, but now the three of them were trying to get down this little hallway, the stairway, which was just a door that went down the steps. And they're grappling, trying to fight each other to get down. They finally get down. But what they didn't know is that they left the window open that night. And my grandmother had to go up and shut this window. And the kids didn't tell her what was going on. But my grandma had, like, that sixth sense where she just knew when things were off. So she really didn't like to go up there anyways. She goes up. My speech for 2020 is really not getting any better. She went up, and she goes to close the window of this third floor, and she closes it, and when she turns around, she's greeted by what she said was hands around her throat, literally choking the life out of her. So what she said was, I remember her saying that she said, Father, why have thou forsaken me? And she started into a prayer to where it released and let her go. Well, after experiencing that, my grandma was like, no more, we're moving. So they moved. They chose to go and move and do their thing, only to find out that the people that moved in after them was a nun and another lady. They were like renting the place together, and the lady wound up jumping out the third floor window and dying. And that kind of like creeped me out, because my mom had like the article for a while, and I was just like, why would you keep that? And she's like, well, because of what we experienced and stuff. And I get it now, totally. I totally get it now. But at the time, I was just like, why would you keep something like that? Totally understandable. So that was my two ghost stories. Actually, it was my ghost story, my ghost catch up, and a little ghost story from my mom and her friends that told me something, along with my grandma having this sixth sense that they all said she had. So with that, I say, if you made it this far, guys, I really do appreciate you. Much love. Right, am I doing it right? There you go. Much love, much peace, much happiness. Stay on your grind. Stay on it, because really, you really feel at one point that you're not going to make it and you're not going to do this, but I'm getting, little by little, I'm getting somewhere. And no, I don't expect to be famous or anything like that, but I do expect for my stories to be heard, which just aren't ghost stories. So I just want to let you guys know that in 2020, I do have a lot of ghost stories, but I do have my awareness stories coming too. And they cover anything from, God, I've said this before, from drug use to abuse to mental abuse to physical abuse to, because I think mental abuse is really, really bad. Physical abuse is terrible, but mental abuse really gets into your psyche and really fucks with you. So I think like a lot of people should know about that. If they don't know, they should know. And with that said, guys, it's your girl Teri. I'm in the dungeon, and I'm out. Peace.